In all the years of superhero movies, we have been blessed with iconic portrayals, scenes, superheroes, actors, what have you, but we have also been cursed with some of the most horrific movie scenes, full-body cringe sessions that we've ever gotten.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
And I'm Andy M. Lee.
Our third honorary Comic Lad member for today's video.
Yes, Andy M. Lee. Incredible YouTube channel. Our first ever collab on the channel, which is...
Same.
This is like the Avengers theme music is playing right now in the background. Yeah. And guys, today we are looking at the cringiest superhero scenes, movies exclusively, of all time.
Some of the scenes that we have on this list genuinely make me want to cry.
No, even just talking about these scenes before recording, dude, we were just dying laughing.
There's too many cringy scenes, especially I feel like in the last 10 years of superhero movies, they've just gotten exponentially more and more cringe as they've just been making more and milking the franchises over and over.
Well, it's like I have more noteworthy, cringy scenes in recent memory than like good ones.
Yeah, but when you look back on the older cringy scenes, they're really bad.
Back then, it's also like they're so dated now too. Like some of the ones on this list are heinous.
But guys, question of the week. Before we give you our 10 picks, we obviously couldn't include everything in this list, so let us know what you believe is the cringiest superhero movie scene of all time in the comments down below.
And guys, before we get into it, make sure to drop a like on the video. Really helps us out. Subscribe if you haven't already, not just to the Comic Lads, but also to Andy M. Lee.
Thanks for the shout out.
And head over onto his channel to see part 2 of this collaboration. We're uploading 2 videos collaborating on each of our channels in the same day, so go over there to see more.
All right, let's get into it.
So guys, starting things off at number 10.
We're bringing it back to Daredevil 2003, starring Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. And I mean, you guys know what fucking scene it is. It's the playground scene.
It's just so crazy. It's crazy because there's a bunch of kids around there as well, and I guess that was a trend back in the early 2000s, just to have a bunch of adults hang around kids in the playground. That sounded really weird.
They try to make it look like a very normal public occurrence, but I'm just trying to imagine what it'd be like walking by and seeing a blind guy like balancing on a seesaw with Jennifer Garner.
A blind guy beating the shit out of a woman on the seesaw.
Exactly.
And the worst thing about this scene for me is like it's kind of at the end of their, I guess their like dance, because it's not a fight, it's like a shitty dance, and they're just like really out of breath and like moaning at each other while like kids are watching, and I'm just like, where the fuck are the cops?
And I forgot, does anyone actually question how this blind guy is doing all these tricks?
Well, I don't think so, because early in the fight, she knocks his cane away, and he doesn't have it for most of like their fucking scene.
I love it. It's like Magneto used the cane to like move it directly, perfectly, physically in between.
You know what makes it even worse? Compared to the whole tone of the movie, how they try to make it all gritty and serious. That's why they have like the terrible bullseye outfit, because they wanted them to tone it down, like comic bookiness. And then they have this scene, and it's like, what was the point you were trying to make this all serious and grungy? You have Evanescence doing the soundtrack and everything, and then you have this playground scene. What is the direction here?
That's true, actually. Like, legit, Ben Affleck throws a fucking goon into the train tracks, and then like 20 minutes later, he's balancing on a seesaw.
Alright, next one is the infamous scene that has penetrated pop culture in all meme formats. It is the "Say That Again" line from FanForce 2015.
I love how it's the final scene they leave you with. Like, if your movie-going experience wasn't bad enough, here you go.
Yeah, and things like,
gotta say, it's fantastic.
no, actually, it was awful.
Do you guys know the line of dialogue that precedes this? It's when Human Torch, he just randomly insults Ben Grimm. It's like, oh, all the smart guys and the thing that no one wanted. It's like it just comes out of nowhere. It's just so mean.
It's like, I'm sorry we can't all be Michael B. Jordan, dude.
It's so out of nowhere.
It is, and I mean, like, this doesn't really have to do with the line itself, but I mean, doesn't really help that Ben is fucking naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, while he says it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
You just in the nude with your boy. You say, it's fantastic.
I can't believe they didn't give him shorts, man.
Yeah. And Andy, you brought up like a great point. I mean, people that don't even know comic book movies know the snapshot image of Miles Teller's head slowly turning to the right to look at Pengram.
Okay, wait, I have the actual line from Johnny Storm. He says, it's when they're discussing the potential team name, and Johnny Storm says,
how about two guys, a girl, and the thing that nobody wanted?
it was a random bully out of nowhere. It's like so mean-spirited for no reason.
We're gonna be talking now, guys, about everyone's favorite actor in the world. Gal Gadot. Obviously, we're talking about when Superman is daddying up on the shitty Justice League. Wonder Woman, he goes,
Kal El No.
Kal El No. Kal El No.
Gal Gadot, I mean, I remember people used to really like her as Wonder Woman.
well, the first movie was like really fun.
Yeah, it was really good, but I feel like her acting has just gone viral in the last year, and she has so many terrible lines in the DCU.
I need you to give me the stone.
I think it helped that her character in the beginning, it was about Wonder Woman finding herself in man's world, and she didn't really know what was going on. She was kind of oblivious to everything, and that kind of played into Gal Gadot's lack of expressiveness, I guess. But now, as she's meant to become a more 3D character, the skills aren't really catching up with where she's meant to be.
And I'm like, you guys couldn't just tell Gal to do another fucking take?
Well, it's also the line itself, like, Kal El No.
Yeah, like, what is that?
I was thinking the same thing as well. Like, the line itself, there's just no way to deliver that effectively.
And she just sounds like she just woke up, fresh out of bed.
She's young, Kal El No.
Exactly.
And adding on to this, just an additional moment that we have to mention. The moment that caused everything that happens in the Justice League, it's the Martha scene as well. We cannot neglect the scene because this scene single-handedly killed the DCEU from the public general audience.
That's actually such a good point. It actually just fired a bullet straight into everyone's heads.
It almost killed my love of comics, honestly.
And it just brings out a bunch of people who are like, actually, you don't really understand this scene. Just don't talk about it if you don't get it.
Yeah, don't you get it, guys? Batman's Joe Chill now. I get it. I really get it, but it sucks.
Yeah, and I love that scene because it's such like a snapshot moment for him too.
Yeah.
It's not like the whole movie he's kind of on the fence about trying to kill Superman. He literally has his boot on Henry Cavill's throat, about to stab him with the spear, and then he says his mom's name, and it's like, let's go take down Lex. It's crazy. Like,
I'm gonna save your mom no matter what.
I'm a friend of your son's. Even though I tried to kill him 30 minutes earlier.
next up on the list, this was a low-key one that I'm glad Andy brought to us, because this scene is a terrible scene in an otherwise amazing trilogy of movies.
Yeah.
We are talking about the Talia al Ghul death scene in The Dark Knight Rises.
This is one of the worst examples of someone like acting out their last breath as they're dying.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I'm pretty sure the actress talked about it recently. And she was like, oh, well, like, it is what it is. The director chose the take, so I can't really do anything about it. And it's like, damn, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's you being represented as an actress, and that's what they see.
To her credit, though, I do think I get the feeling with Dark Knight Rises that Christopher Nolan just wanted to get the fuck out of that trilogy.
Yeah, he was checked out for sure.
Yeah.
And what gets me too is I'm just like, why is she like slumped over like that? Like, where's her neck?
Yeah, it's like full-on double chinning, like... So bad. Okay, next up on the list. When we were constructing the list, I had to have this in here.
You had to.
This is like a personal... I don't know if it's a favorite. It is the Batman and Robin scene where they're bidding for Poison Ivy.
Yeah, just the whole like concept of that scene is so weird and kind of gross. You're obviously talking about when Batman whips out his fucking Amex card, his black Amex card.
$7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
I like the card too because on the expiry date it says forever.
Oh, get it? Get it? Batman Forever?
That's the movie that came out before this one, guys. Yeah. Right? You saw it.
All right, guys, now we're moving a little further in time, but still quite back in time for us right now. We're moving to Spider-Man 3. Now, I know everyone watching is going to be like, oh my god, these guys are so basic. They're going to talk about Toby dancing. Yes, we are, but not the scene you're thinking of. We're going to be talking about, now take on this.
Specifically the jazz bar scene.
I just thought of him floating on the chair, how it like miraculously glides across the floor.
My favorite shot from that sequence is when he's like, the jazz music is slowly, the tempo is rising and it's really sexy in Peter Parker's mind.
Yeah, everything's heating up.
Yeah, everything's heating up and he takes off his jacket and you see the full wave from his double chin go down his neck.
And like, all these Spider-Man 3 apologists, like, it's okay to love the movie. I would rewatch it in a heartbeat. But a lot of people, they say, oh no, it was the whole point of the symbiote taking over him. Like, he thinks it's cool, but no one actually thinks it's cool. But in that jazz scene, like, he's actually rizzing up people and he's like getting the crowd rowdy and shit. So I'm like, it's not really all in his head if the movie's intentionally making him cool. So it's not ironic. Alright, next one. We have a scene from Kraven the Hunter, arguably the most highly critically rated Spider-Man movie of all time. I'm talking about one scene in particular. It's the Rhino scene. And it's not with the actual Rhino himself, because there is no Rhino in the scene. It is a guy with an office shirt, suspenders, I think, and he lets out this really weird scream with no music or no intensifying ramp up to the next scene or anything. It's not a scene transition. He just...
All of our guys are dead.
No, it's like a Last of Us-esque like clicker sound. Like his boy comes in and he's like,
it reminds me of the type of sound you'd make when like your mom would send you to your room and tell you not to slam the door behind you. Yeah, and you get in and you're like have to like vent your frustrations but you can't scream, so you're like and you just tense up and scream to yourself.
Alright, and speaking of Kraven, I just wanted to mention another scene from Kraven the Hunter. The scene I'm talking about is when Kraven the Hunter confronts his half-brother Chameleon on a bridge, and Chameleon, he turns around and shows off his powers for the very first time by transforming into a 5'7" Aaron Taylor Johnson.
If you're gonna go so far as to make Chameleon just have like mystique abilities where she can shapeshift, make him be able to match people's heights, please.
You know those hypothetical questions like, oh, which superpower would you have? And then you don't really think about the drawbacks of having that superpower, like, oh, Wolverine claws, but you know, healing factor, and you just get stabbed every time and you bleed out to death. That's like what Chameleon chose here. Oh, you get to change to anyone, but you can't change your height. Alright, so this... I can't even say this out loud. So this is a scene that takes place in X-Men Dark Phoenix, somehow the second best Dark Phoenix we've gotten, and
that's not saying much.
Yeah, exactly. Jennifer Lawrence, aka Mystique, she's having a scuffle with Professor X, and before Mystique leaves, she ends the rebuttal with,
and by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
It destroys all of her like good points from like earlier in the scene where it's like if she got through to Professor X at all, her saying that, he's just gonna be like
to respect to Jennifer Lawrence for actually delivering that scene, because I feel like she delivered it the best way you can with a line written like that. Like, how do you even say that without it coming off as goofy?
Yeah, the line itself doesn't even feel like it's based in reality, actually. When I hear it, it almost feels like it's AI generated or something.
No, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a line from a parody from The Boys. You know when they have those fake TV show snippets in The Boys? It feels like a line that would put in there.
But not even you could stop me alone.
He's not alone.
But guys, getting to our number one most cringiest scene, to us, our very biased number one pick.
I feel like it's hard to argue that this is the worst one ever.
I feel like even if you're on the fence, if you go back and rewatch it, you'll be like, yeah, it's this one. We are talking about the Catwoman basketball scene. You got, is her name Selena Kyle in it?
No,
What
it's
is
not.
it? What's her name?
I don't know. Actually, I don't remember. Hang on. Her name is Patience Phillips.
What?
What the fuck is that? What? You don't want to call her Patience?
Patience Phillips.
Patience Phillips. Okay, so Patience Phillips starts getting into a rival kind of dance battle-esque basketball dribble session. And kind of like what we said with the Daredevil scene with Elektra, of course, there's like a whole child audience surrounding them.
There's like 50 kids watching them like writhing on each other with basketball.
Grinding up on each other.
And just the amount of angles and shots and movement that splice into a 30-second segment of that scene, you'll get dizzy, you get confused, like what the fuck am I watching?
My favorite shot is just the close-ups of them with the basketball.
Every time she like shifts the ball from one hand to another, she's like keeping her eyes on it too, so her head's just spinning. And then she like has to shake her ass at the guy, and then he like pulls his shirt up and flashes his abs. I'm like, there's kids watching you. There are children watching.
Yeah, all the kids are like cheering in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And the final basketball slam dunk of it's not even a slam dunk because she lets go of the ball like halfway through midair and she just lands on the guy and then they're basically grinding on each other in front of these kids.
Can we have our ball back?
This was a blast, man.
Well, honestly, a lot of these movies, despite their cringy scenes, it's kind of the exact thing that makes me love them so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like Spider-Man 3.
Like, as much as we rag on movies like Spider-Man 3 or Batman and Robin, those are just good times. But guys, those are our picks. The best, well, best of the best, worst of the worst.
No, it's got to be worse.
Worst of the worst.
Nah, it's the best of the worst.
The best of the worst.
That's true.
Cringiest superhero scenes of all time. Make sure you go over to Andy's channel, watch her second collaboration video dropping the same time as this video. Subscribe to both of our channels.
Please.
Please.
Please. Andy, thanks so much for joining us on this, man. It's been such a blast.
Of course. This was so fun.
Yeah.
We should do this again.
Yeah, let us know if you want more collaboration videos. They all say no.
They're like, fuck this guy, dude. He ruins it. Get him out of here.
And we love you.
We love you dearly. Peace.
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 Peace.